Hey, 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 cause we love to party. 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 I know I'm young, but I'm ready to give you loving. I can't think of the words, but I'm ready. So I'll sing them how I want. Yeah. We like to party. We like to party. Hey, 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 hey. Cause we like to party. Hey, welcome to another thing of what this is. It's me, Grizz. I'm a puppy, and it is the way I handle my biz. Arf, arf, bitch. Hey, happy Pride. Woo, the gays, we're queer in here, we're here. We're queer. We're here. Get used to it. It's Pride Month. And I'm going to start off by saying it's very weird that everyone is like all of a sudden like questioning what the word queer means when it was one of the most popular chants during the riots and the protests that gave us what we needed to start living in a society where people accepted us without wanting us arrested and killed. I mean, yeah, there's still people like that, but they're not the majority anymore because of that. We're queer. We're here. Get used to it. How do you not know what the word queer means? How do you not understand what the Q means when queer was the word that was used the most there? Anyway, hey, we're queer, okay? We're here, all right? Get used to it, okay? Like we haven't gone anywhere. Y'all wanna claim the Bible so much. We're still here. Nothing has changed. We're still here. Get used to it. Get the fuck used to it. Okay, so I want to start. I'm very excited right now. I'm excited. I'm so excited because it's June. It's June. It's the month right before my birthday, and it's the gay and black month. Like yeah, February. Meh. Yeah, I'm used to February, but June, Juneteenth, June, the gay month. Like our black president, our only black president so far of the United States of the Americas, declared this entire month for the gays, a black man. And Juneteenth is an official holiday now. So it's for the black gays. I'm sorry. I mean, you guys can celebrate too because it is in general for the gays. Obviously, it's always been for the gays, but it adds another layer of my excitement, and I am wagging my tail constantly. Constantly, I'm wagging my tail this month. Constantly, I am so excited. I am so excited to go out and howl, bark, and do hood rat shit with my hood rat friends all month. It's the gay month. Hey, and it's the black month. It's the second black month. I don't care. I'm claiming it right now as not just the gay month, but the black gay month. You have to be both. You have to be black and gay. You have to be black and queer to rep this month fully. Anyone else, you're not repping it as fully as we are because we are lit as fuck this month, baby. We repping it. We're repping it. Let's get it. Yeah. Okay. So honestly, I just want to talk about like my super duper queer identity, sexually and gender wise, because they're two separate things. I will not elaborate. So, okay, so I don't even know where to start. They're both pretty complicated because I'm non-binary. Oh, I guess this means I'm starting with gender. So gender wise, I'm non-binary. I am genuinely, truly feeling all the time non-binary. I do not give a shit about pronouns. I give a shit about you respecting my transness. And my transness is very queer. I am not on the binary at all when it comes to my transness. I picture myself as a male, the way that a cis male may present themselves among the world. But I am not 100% male. I'm also not 100% female either. Or not 100% man and not 100% woman. I am a solid in between and also both. It's like I jump around and I it's gender fluidness. Definitely. I just claim non-binary because gender fluid is non-binary. Like you're not sticking to a binary when you're jumping back and forth between the binary. So, yeah. So I go by he they mainly. Mainly because it's easier to explain. It's very hard to explain my connection to womanhood with the way that I live my life. I am very masculine with the way that I live my life. I, like, obviously, through my persona, gave him a beard, and I am growing a beard now because I am on testosterone after uh, consistently 2 years now, I think, and on and off for like a year. Consistently 2 years, though. I am growing out my beard now, and I would like it to be as long as my personas is. That would be cool. And it's like I picture myself in my mind to be a man, but gender wise, I've grown with these women parts, and I am very connected to them. Therefore, I don't want to get rid of them because it's like the parts that I'm connected to aren't the parts that's bothering me. And it's weird too because okay, we're talking about sex here, so I'm going to use educational and scientific terms for sex here, okay? My vagina, I do not care for changing. I like my pussy. I like that I have grown a testosterone penis. The trans mask folks know what I'm talking about. And the trans mask the people who are sexually attracted to trans mask folks also know what I'm talking about. The T dick. It's I'm okay with it. It's like an enlarged clitoris, but it feels more like a dick. It doesn't feel like a clitoris as much anymore. It feels like what I imagine having a penis would be, but it's in the shape and the size more so of a clit. The feeling is dick, but the visual is clit. And I'm okay with that. I like that in between. I'm okay with what it feels like for it to be played with and whatnot. Um, okay, this is weird. It's so weird to talk about sex, your sexual experience is to like randos and like the world or whatnot because it's just not something we're not used to doing. But like for me to talk about my sexuality, it's literally I have to do it. I have to get a little bit explicit for me to explain what really turns me on and what I'm accepting of my body. Not even accepting. Well, I guess you have to like something to accept it. But like what I like, it's more about what I like and what I enjoy about my body, more so than accepting. You can accept something you don't like, so it's completely different. So yeah, I there were things about my body I could not. I tried very hard to accept. I went through stages. Okay, and it's like I'm switching back and forth between gender and sex now. They go hand in hand, definitely, but they are still two separate things. So when I decided to start transitioning, I realized like, okay, I lived my entire life, like maybe not my entire life, but definitely once I hit puberty, really disliking my body, really being uncomfortable. I was in denial about, like, I don't talk about this much. This is in between me, my dead mom, and the doctor that I will never see again. And he probably doesn't even remember it because he sees so many patients at a time. So I was at the doctor's office in my early teens, and my mom talked to the doctor about how I was developing woman features, specifically breasts. And I said, hey, those aren't breasts. It's just fat. I was a fat kid. I was a fat older, and I'm still fat. So I was a fat teenager to now. And it's like, okay, these in my mind it was just like, it's not fat, it's not titties, it's just fat. Um which technically is true, but also not. Titties does store some fat, but titties are titties. Like they're a whole different it's a whole different thing that you develop for, uh feeding babies and whatnot. Vomits in my mouth a little bit. But yeah, it's completely different. So my I was in denial about it. I was just like, I'm not really growing titties. Why would I be growing titties? It's just I'm fat now. I wasn't fat when I was younger, so I'm like, okay, I'm fat now, and I'm obviously getting fatter because I don't exercise. I do things in gym to pass a class, but I wasn't like engaged. So it was like I didn't exercise, so it's like obviously, bro, it's just fat. Um, and at that time when I said that, my mom and the doctor was like, what? And instead of elaborating, because I was so shy and afraid of really speaking my mind back then, I had to been like 11 or 10 or 11 at that time. I had to been like, excuse, ooh, oof, excuse me. Um, I had to been like 10 or 11 at that time, and it was yeah, I was just like, no, you fool. This is just fat. I'm just getting fat because I'm a fat motherfucker. But no, they were titties. Titties were developing. I got my period. I'm very lucky with my period, by the way. Like I am extremely lucky with my period. I got my period when I was 13. Um the longest I've ever had my period was 5 days. I'm very lucky. Very, very lucky. Even now, like, yeah, if I don't take my shot every week, I'll start cramping, but the cramps are unbearable. Like, they feel worse to me than they used to be. I don't know if I got used to it or something. I don't fucking know. That doesn't make sense. So yeah, it has to be that they're not as bad. But yeah, they are still like they weren't as bad as now, even though I'm not bleeding for multiple times a day and stuff. I'm still like, I go through hot flashes every single time. Hot flashes were more rare for me, and every single week I go through hot flashes. Every single week when my body's like, oh, the period's finna kick in. That and after I have sex, it's annoying. Sex that is penetrative, it's like it's annoying. It's like the body's like, meh, meh, baby, and I'm like, hey, hey, no, that will not happen. Even if I was a cis woman, if I was me and a cis woman, no, 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 no. You, you stop it, uterus and fallopian tubes and ovaries. This will not happen. I don't care. It won't. But yeah, it definitely feels stronger. But I can't. I've never pictured myself actually having a baby. I've pictured myself as a parent, but never really thought about what would I would have to go through if I decided I want to be a parent alone. Giving birth? No, no. I refuse. I refuse. I refuse. It's not happening. So yeah, so yeah, even in childhood, like it was just like I even the first time when my gender was in question, I was a child. I was a child, and I was playing outside. My mom, I don't know what made her do this, but she bought me boy clothes that matched my brother's clothes, and then my sister braided my hair, and she did like a straight back type of braid where it had beads and everything. So like I was coming off extremely masculine, and a girl asked me if I was a boy or a girl. And I had no idea how to answer that. Because when I actually thought about it, it was just like my first response was a very neutral response. And at that time, it felt like maybe this means because I've never been asked it. Let me figure out what I'm supposed to say. Like, I'm just recalling what I remember now. You know, like, and this feeling never changes. This feeling that I have, even recalling it, doesn't change from the feeling I had in the moment. So I'm like, maybe I should just say what I should say. And I'm like, I'm a girl. Like, if you have to stop and think about what gender you are not cisgendered. You are not cisgendered. If you have to stop and think about what gender you are not cisgender unless you are so solid in your transness and you're like, yeah, I'm I'm whatever I am. But like if I had to think about it, my feeling was so neutral. I was just like boy or girl, meh. And I wish I was able to communicate that to her at that time, but I couldn't. I didn't know anything about non-binariness. I didn't know anything about non-binariness until I was an adult. Not even in high school I knew non-binary people. In high school the discourse was about pansexual people. Like 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 and trans people existing. Like trans people existing in within the binary and pansexual people. That was the discourse when I was in high school. So it's just like when I was actually trying to discover my sexuality, my gender never came into an equation because at the time I was like, I'm obviously not trans, like, but I never really thought about me back then and how I felt until I was taught what it was to be gender fluid, and that was being on the internet, specifically Tumblr, and it was literally a post where they were just explaining what it felt like to be gender fluid. And I was like, damn, I relate to this a lot. And I realized, hey, I'm gender fluid. And, you know, it was like, okay, I'm gender fluid or whatever. There wasn't really much to do because at that point, like I already like knew in the queer I was in the queer community. I was dressing masculinely, you know, versus femininely, where my sex being born female is expected of me to dress. I already started doing that, you know, before I even started actually thinking about my gender. I just started dressing what was more comfortable to me. First time I ever wore men's pants was because my school clothes in eighth grade um, weren't clean and I didn't feel like washing them. So I stole a pair of jeans from my brother and I wore them to school because I also didn't care about wearing the uniform at that point. It felt stupid. And it was just like, y'all are either going to keep me from going to school or give me pants. Like it's a win-win situation at this point for me. I might as well wear what I'm comfortable with. And it wasn't even about comfortability. I just wore whatever. And No, I'm mixing up memories now. Whoa. No, the memory that I'm having now, it wasn't eighth grade. It was high school. I saw this girl in high school that dressed femininely. She would wear masculine she would wear masculine pants but feminine shirts. And I was like, that's cool. I want to do that. That 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 looks like something that would be comfortable for me. So I did it. And like, yeah, the whole point in me wearing my brother's pants was because my clothes weren't clean. That part is true. My clothes weren't clean. I didn't want to do them. I stole some of my brother's jeans and I wore them, and I was extremely comfortable that day. um, but yeah, and it was just like, yeah, it was good for me. It felt good. I was comfortable. I was comfortable that day wearing the woman's shirt with man pants. It was fantastic. And it was just the high school was definitely the experimental phase for how I wanted to dress and dabbling with my sexuality. Um, and then after high school, I started learning about the difference between sex and gender, and learning that gender was like different. I already said that. But yeah, so yeah, after high school, I uh I did that and I learned what gender queer was, gender fluid was specifically, and I like resonated with it a lot. I resonated with it and I was just like, I came out to my girlfriend at the time of that, and she started using masculine pronouns on me and whatnot. And it was pretty cool. It definitely gave me a shot of euphoria every single time she did it. Literally. Like it was great. And then it was like she was the only person in my life that I came out to. So she was the only person that would use the masculine pronouns for me. So it was definitely a shot of euphoria. Um and then I have a bad habit of letting myself suffer because I'm like, I don't deserve to take care of myself for some damn reason. And not now, obviously, but before, yeah. But yeah, and when in that time I was dating that girlfriend, I was still trying to get over body image issues. So at some point, I realized, hey, I'm okay with my body. Like, like people made fun of me growing up for being fat. So I thought that I hated my body so much because I was fat. And then I was like, okay, you fat, but you thick, girl. You got that, you thick, you juicy. What you talking about? Like you girl? You know what I mean? And I accepted my body and I loved my body at some point, but I still couldn't look at myself and be comfortable. I couldn't look at my own face and be comfortable. And it was like at some point, like, yeah, I have to realize, yeah, I need to transition for me to be comfortable because when I close my eyes and imagine myself now, I do not have the body type that I actually have. I do not have the facial features that I actually have. Who in their right mind is so feminine, is supposed to be feminine, but they think about growing a beard? I was thinking about growing a beard and how I would look with a beard, how I look with facial hair before I started transitioning. That's not what cis people do. A cis woman is not going to give a shit about facial hair. No, even if they're masculine, like, even if they're a masculine person, they're not going to be like, oh, I need to shave my legs. No, I wanted to be more hairy. I was mad that I wasn't hairy. I was so not hairy before I started tea. You could not see any hair on me at all. Like I was not a hairy person. And that upset me. I like looking down at my legs and seeing hair now. And then it was just like, hmm, something's off. And even like looking at the shape of my legs and stuff, it was just like it just felt off. It just felt extremely off. And I realized I needed to make that change. I needed to make the change with my hormones so that my body could match what I'm imagining in my brain. Wait, But I've always imagined in my brain, even when I was that kid who got asked, "What gender are you?" That was the best I remember feeling wearing anything my parents bought me. That was the best I ever felt. I was so confident that day. I felt very good that day. Going outside to play, I felt so good. I felt so good that day just because of how I dressed. And it was a beautiful moment. And I didn't get any more of that until I got to decide for myself, you know? And it's just like looking back, it's like, damn, I was trans when I was a kid. I just didn't get to explore it. I didn't even get to explore myself outside of being trans. So how the hell would I have gotten a chance to explore my transness, you know? So it's it's great. It's great that I'm now able to do it. It's like, yeah, we can look in the past and be like, oh, it's sad that I didn't get to do it. But now I'm proud. I'm happy that I am able to do this now. And it's fucked up what's going on in the South. The South said they will rise again, and goddamn, have they been trying. I do not like it. It's fucked up because it's like, okay, people should still have that option. I understand them being wary of children taking hormones, but they're not stopping at the hormones, and that's what pisses me off. Like, if they ban hormones for teenagers, like, yeah, that's gonna suck for them. And I don't know, I would prefer them not doing that at all because there are teenagers, there are trans teens that need it, you know. But I understand if they stopped there. You know, if they were just like, okay, maybe we shouldn't let people under the age of 18 decide what permanent hormones they put in their body. Because there are things with being trans that are permanent. And with being, not being trans, because there's non-binary people who don't actually physically and hormonally transition. But people who feel like they need to hormonally and physically transition, there are things that are permanent. And I completely understand a parent being wary of that because, like, they fear for their kids' regret in the future when they're older and they're like, oh, I shouldn't have made this decision, you know, and that does happen. So I understand the fear of that. But trying to take that away in general, that's shitty. And trying to take away a kid's chance, like, okay, like a kid might, like, okay, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking. Like, at worst case scenario, what should be happening right now if parents are so afraid of children, minors doing this, and they want to leave it at 18 where they legally can't have any say so on what they do. I'm like, okay, I get that. So I say if it's like, okay, you don't want your child to have hormones, but at least support them support them in buying trans tape when they're getting titties in. Support them in therapy. Let them go to therapy and talk about their gender dysphoria. Support them in what they feel like they need, like changing their wardrobe so that they are presenting more masculinely or more femininely or whatever they need. You know, support them in that. The things that don't require the hormones, they're refusing to they're refusing to even give their children that. It's fucked up. But it's fucked up because it could have kept it could keep it it could have kept me out of depression. I remember with my ex, the girlfriend that I had when I realized I was trans. This happened before I realized I was trans. This happened before I realized I was any type of like gender fluid, any type of anything. There's this fucking, I don't know if they still do it, but there was this fucking gender bit day where they basically would make fun of cross dressers by having seniors cross dress for their senior spirit week or whatever. They would cross dress or whatever, and it'd be a joke and blah blah blah. So the joke was that because at that point um, I was already dressing as a masculine person then. Me and my girlfriend at the time, decided let's quote unquote gender swap. She's gonna dress masculinely, I'm gonna dress femininely. Like, okay, I can do that. I already still have feminine clothes, so like I can throw them on for the day and it'll be a laugh. But when I did it, I was so depressed that day, and it made it worse because my ex at the my girlfriend at the time didn't understand why I was so depressed, and she got upset. We both had mental health issues, whatever. But she got upset because I was depressed and I didn't understand why I was depressed. So I couldn't explain to her why I was depressed. All I could say was, I'm just upset. I don't feel good. Blah blah blah. And then yeah, it was just it got so my sadness got so bad that day that I kept the feminine shirt on, but instead of wearing the feminine pants, I switched to like some jogging pants because I couldn't do it anymore. I was so uncomfortable. I was so uncomfortable, and I think we made it through to like third or fourth period with that bullshit. So yeah, I was so uncomfortable that day. I couldn't handle it. I was so depressed because I was forced. Like I mean I agreed to it, but I didn't know what type of impact it would have had on me when I did it. So yeah, I agreed to do it, but I didn't know what type of impact it would have on me, and it had a bad impact, and I had to do what I needed to do to alleviate that impact it had on me. But yeah, I chose to dress femininely, even though I went 2 years, 2.5. No, wait, not 2.5. I'll say 1.5. It was senior year. Um, I was vice president of our gay club by junior year. So I want to say maybe like mid to late sophomore year, I started dressing more masculinely. Um, and it was like I a year and a half of me dressing masculinely, jumping to dressing femininely. Like I was so uncomfortable. It was terrible. It was a terrible time for me. So yeah, that happened, and it's just like you're forcing children to be depressed every single day, not even at school, like when they're at home, when they go out with the family or go out with their friends, you're not allowing them to dress the way that they're comfortable at all. You're causing them to be depressed. You're causing them to be sad and uncomfortable. And it's just like, why take that from them? It's not physically harming them to dress differently. It might hurt your pockets, but children are always going to want clothes. Teenagers are always going to want clothes. They're always going to want clothes. Always. So it's just like you're always going to have to be purchasing clothes for them. Why not purchase what makes them comfortable at the time? Why not? Why not? What is stop what I want to know what fear is keeping them from letting kids experiment. They're figuring themselves out. Teenagers are figuring themselves out. Like I understand like you don't want to touch this gender and sexuality stuff until they're old enough for it. But teen years are literally the years where you're trying to figure out you're in between child and adult. That's literally the years when you're in between child and adult and you're trying to figure out what you need to become an adult. Give them what they feel like they need. And it could be a phase, it could be an experimental phase, which is why I also understand not wanting to jump to putting them on hormones. But puberty blockers and changing their clothes aren't going to harm them in the long run at all. Let them do that. Let them do it, man. Okay. So yeah, that's my gender journey. So my sexuality journey right now is okay, I accepted that I'm in the queer community. I accepted that a long time ago, blah, blah, blah. First, I came out as bisexual. Then I was like, hey, I love women way more than men. I'm not even actually sexually attracted to men. So I'm going to call myself a lesbian. And then I called myself a lesbian in high school. So I went through high school to early adulthood being a lesbian, being known as a lesbian, being in the lesbian community more than anything. And then I realized, hey, I think I might actually be bisexual. Like, yeah, I came out as that at first, but I did that because I thought it would be easier than trying to explain being lesbian. And also because I dabbled with a guy that I genuinely, truly liked in high school. Like, I dabbled with other guys too, but like it's different. And even in high school, like with that, I feel like it's the same how I feel now. It's like I'm dabbling with these guys, but it's not necessarily because I find them attractive. But there was this one guy that I genuinely found attractive, literally one out of the three guys in high school that I dabbled with. And it was like, um, yeah, okay, because of this guy, I'm gonna say I'm bisexual. Blah blah blah. And also, it's just easier to say. It's more accepting amongst the straights than straight up gay. For real, for real. So yeah, I was like, okay, I'm bi, blah blah blah. But then I realized I'm more connected with women socially and physically. That I'm like, okay, uh, maybe I'm lesbian, maybe I'm lesbian, and then, I'm gender queer, so like, I'm a gender queer lesbian, blah, blah, blah. And then, and, then there's the whole transitioning phase now. Now I'm like, okay, I'm not just gender queer to a point where it's just like, I can say I'm gender queer, but don't need to change anything. It's not just at heart, it's at sight too. Because like there's gender where it's at heart, which is why there are feminine feminine people who are born female at birth that associate themselves with he, him pronouns. There's gender at heart. There's just gender where how you feel, and there's nothing more. But then there's gender with how you feel, like you need to present yourself, and it's not even to presenting yourself to the world. And that's the problem. I feel like is that we keep trying to associate our gender with how we are presenting it to everyone else so that they can see what our gender is. They don't need to see what our gender is because there's gender at heart. Like you can be like he, him, and still not want to transition because you just feel those pronouns. You feel the masculinity. You feel what those pronouns feel to you and what that term he, him, man, whatever feels to you at heart. But like that don't mean you want to specifically change your body to look like what everyone expects a man to look like. It's very complicated because they're words. And like pronouns are words that don't even really mean anything other than how you're presenting yourself to other people. And that can change. Like why can't you associate yourself more with men without wanting to change your pronouns? It's like does it matter? Does it matter if I'm a tomboy and just want to hang out with men more but still use she her pronouns, or if I'm a tomboy that hangs out with men and want to use male pronouns? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. Like and sometimes like like sometimes there are women who like being called daddy, and they're still women. They still feel like they're women, but they still feel some type of connection, whether it be sexual, whether it be power, whether it could just make them feel good. And isn't that the goal in life? Aren't we all on the pursuit of happiness to just do what makes us feel good? And it's just like when you're misgendering someone on purpose, especially, you're taking their pursuit of happiness away from them. Why would you do that? What makes you want to do that? Does it make you happy to take their pursuit of happiness away? Why? Their pursuit of happiness is not making you unhappy at all. It's inconveniencing you in the slightest. And if you feel like being inconvenienced is taking away from your pursuit of happiness, you're just a privileged fuck. You think that literally every single aspect of your life is supposed to make you happy, otherwise you're unhappy. That's pathetic as fuck. Privileged people are pathetic as fuck. Like, how in the hell do you feel like, oh, my pronouns are inconveniencing you in the little slightest bit? We're never going to see each other outside of this interaction. Ever. Ever again. But I'm asking you to respect my pronouns and you're having a fit because it's inconveniencing you. You're going to go home and stew on this? You're going to let it upset your family? That's you. You're doing that. Like, how is that really getting into the way of your pursuit of happiness? Like, you know what gets in the way of my pursuit of happiness? People making laws where it's illegal for me to take uh certain hormones so that I can be happy in my body. That does not equate. Me asking you in the time of us interacting with each other to use my correct pronouns, you could either misgender me in private. I don't give a fuck if you misgender me in private, but in my face, I expect you to use the pronouns that I want you to use. And if it inconveniences you, that's not taking away from your pursuit of happiness. It's just an inconvenience. And if you feel like you are, you're privileged. And you need to shut the fuck up and think about why you feel like trying to abide by someone else's pursuit of happiness ruins your own. Unless it's something crazy like, oh, I'm racist and want to own black people and that would add to my pursuit of happiness. That's crazy because you wanting to own black people is going to take away from the pursuit of happiness of black people. Black people don't want to be slaves. No one wants to be a slave. So it's just like your pursuit of happiness is taking away from someone else's pursuit of happiness. That's ridiculous. Especially if you decided, you know, it's ridiculous. You need to decide. You need to decide. You need to decide, is my pursuit of happiness worth taking away someone else's? Is my pursuit of happiness, is taking away someone else's pursuit of happiness necessary for my pursuit of happiness? And if it is, why? You need to question why. Why do you have to ruin someone else's life for you to be happy? That sounds very toxic. That sounds very, I need to see a therapist. That's what it's giving. You know, okay. So my sexuality, blah, 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 blah. Back to where we were. Back to where we were. We're back. We're back. We're back to where we were. Yeah. Um, where were we? Check. Back. 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 Ah. Remembering words. Remembering where I was. Sexuality. Yeah. So my sexuality is complicated. My sexuality is very complicated. I went on a whole ass rant. I'm angry. I'm very angry at this point in my life because I'm used to being black. Okay, hold on. Let me stop talking about my sexuality real quick and talk about this. I'm used to being black. I am just now really getting used to my queerness being an attack. My blackness has always been attacked. I was born knowing that my blackness would be attacked. But my queerness, that's being attacked right now and it's pissing me the fuck off. Alright, that's why I went on that tangent. Alright, so my sexuality. Okay. So with my sexuality, I don't know how to label it, bro. I am at a point where it's just like I'm everywhere. I feel like I should technically say pansexual, but I don't relate to other pansexuals. They give off, I don't care what you are or what you're doing or blah blah blah. You're If I like you, I like you. And I'm like, okay, I can like someone and not necessarily be attracted to them sexually. And it's like, eh, it's like I will be attracted to someone, uh, I will be attracted to someone sexually because they want sex, but not really for me because of how they present themselves. They can be a woman, and it's not even necessarily how they present themselves, it's them. Like, they can't present themselves in a way where my dick gets hard thinking about doing it with them, you know? And it makes me sad that I can't, like, I'll also have this connection with them, but also I can't give them that sexual need that they want from me because I won't be into it. But sexually, first of all, I love women. Trans, uh, non-binary, AFABs, uh, uh, yeah. I love women. Feminine, trans masks, post-op trans masks specifically. Like, sexual attraction wise, yes. I will do them within a heartbeat if I am actually attracted to that person's physique. But men, like actual cis men, I can have sex with. I find not even cis men, trans men too. Men in general are cute. They are not sexy. They are not sexually arousing in any type of way, ever, ever. Maybe if I see their penis and it's a nice looking penis, and but it's not even at that point, it's still not even about them. It's about how that penis is gonna feel inside of me. So it's still like I'm still putting me first over how they look. You know what I mean? It's still not even about them. What my sexual attraction with men that I can find at all is not even about them. So I am not sexually attracted to men at all. If I am ever having sex with a man, it's probably because I am so horny and sexually frustrated that I will say, fuck it, fuck it. It's way easier to have sex with a man for me right now than it would be a woman. And I don't even have to. Sometimes I do like getting penetrated, and I would prefer to get penetrated by a woman before I get penetrated by a man. But it's very easy to get penetrated by a man. So that's where I be going to now. Because it's just like, it's easier, but like actual sexual attraction, for me, sexual attraction is you looking at someone and going, whoa, you're so fucking gorgeous or pretty. I want to kiss you. That's like not even thinking about going all the way sex wise. Like, oh, I want to kiss you. Men are cute. I want to snuggle men. They're like plushies to me. They're cute. Men are cute. They're not sexy. I have no actual sexual arousal to any man ever, except for two who are celebrities. And okay, the two celebrities where I'm like, they're hot. I'll let them actually do me. Chris Hemsworth, Idris Elba. Those only two men. And let's face it, most men do not look like them. most men most men do not look like those two fucking celebrities. So I am just not really sexually attracted to men. They're cute. If I am attracted to a man, I think they're cute, and the most I will want to do with them straight up is cuddle or hang out and just be like, "Oh, you're cute, you're adorable." Like, that's about it. Like, I don't get that sexual arousal that I get from women. Like, I could see a pretty woman and be like, "God damn." I could be like, "God damn." You know what I mean? I see a woman's ass, I'm like, "God damn." I see a man's like, I'm like, "Oh, he got some little cake to him." It's not the same. It's not the same at all. So I don't know. I feel like my sexuality, I don't even want to explain. I don't even want to over explain anymore because it doesn't even fucking matter. Who the fuck doesn't matter? But my gender matters. My gender matters to everyone. because it's how you address me, it's how you look at me, and all of that stuff. Sex wise, it's not a whole lot of people's business. It's who I'm having sex with business. And even then, it's not their business because if I'm sexually attracted to a man, like I have been sexually attracted to men and been having sex with men, I don't tell them, hey, I don't really find you sexy. I just find you cute. Like that's not their business. I don't need to tell them that. We're still gonna have sex. Like it's not any of anyone's business. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, so it's just like meh. You know, my sexual attraction to men is meh. My sexual attraction to women is goddamn. I love women. Women. Ah, I do. They're gorgeous. They come on, come on. Women are gorgeous. Women. I don't understand straight up gay men because it's just like they appreciate women, but they don't love women the way that I love women. So yeah, that's another reason why I'm just like super close to, still super close to being part of the lesbian community because not only was the lesbian community my gateway to LGBTQ, I still feel as strongly about women as I did the first day I realized I was gay. So it's like I don't know, the whole, oh, lesbians have to be specifically this. You can't be a bisexual or a pan lesbian. That's not a real thing. That feels like bullshit to me because yeah, I'm not actually sexually attracted to men. Just because I am willing to give a man a chance and have sex with them doesn't mean that I have that sexual attraction. And it also doesn't mean that I have the culture of being with men. You know, I have more of a mindset of being with a woman than I do with a man. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I could ever romantically be with a man. As much as there are men that I like and like want to give that a try, I don't actually picture myself with it. I can be willing to give it a try, you know? I haven't had an actual boyfriend since high school. So I'm willing to give it a chance, but it's not it's not me. So yeah, I'm very queer. I'm very, very, very queer. This is going on for an hour now, I just realized. So yeah, I'm gonna actually post all the this. I don't care. I'm gonna post it all. But yeah, it's yeah. I'm queer, bro. I'm queer. I'm here. Get used to it. All right, so we have a few minutes left within the hour. Um, I'm gonna try to clear it up before an actual hour hits, and we're just gonna do a little outro jam sesh. You feel me? We're gonna jam it out. What can we do? What can we? Mm, 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 mm. I'm queer. I'm here. I'm queer. I'm here. I'm queer. I'm here. I'm queer. I'm here. I'm here. Yeah. I think we started off with like some hip hop though. Should I just close it out with some hip hop? Or like, I think it was like I think it was something with a. This is more R&B. We're closing. We're closing it out this time. We're closing it out this time with a rhyme. But we do it every time, yeah. Every time I see you on my TV screen or my computer screen or my mobile phone screen, you make me wanna say, Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here with me. I'm just gonna sing this one time. I love you all. I love you all. Stay proud of who you are. You are. Stay proud of who you are. You are a shining star. If you keep at it, you'll go far. So keep on going and going and showing the world who you are. Keep on shining like the star you are. I don't think that was R&B, but it ended pretty nice. It ended pretty well. All right. Have a good night, you guys. I love you all. Thank you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Let's end it with the ow.